Hey YouTube! So, a guitar that people have heard of. This is actually a current one just now. Actually, it's still on Anderton's. It's on a sale. This is an American Fender Ultra Strat. American Ultra. It's actually called an American Ultra. Corona, California, US 23. So, 23. Last year's model, is it? That's why it's on a special offer. I think it's. I'm not sure exactly what it is. It's like, I think it's like £800 or £1,000 off. It's like, yeah, that off, as in there's more reduced on this guitar than any guitar I've ever bought. Yeah, so I've literally spent the last 10 minutes trying to get the mics to work. I think I've got it. I hope you can hear it. I kind of want to go back and check. Well, see what happens. I don't know if it's going to stay in tune. I literally just got this trem bar out the case 2 seconds ago. So it's quite interesting to get a guitar in. Quite a lot of things. I mean, I'm quite interested in a brand new Strat anyway, especially since it's an American and it's not even just an American standard, it's an Ultra. Yeah, just to see what kind of setup and stuff they come with. So I set the guitar's actions too low. I think that's just what I've been doing. I think I maybe need to start raising my game a little bit. This is coming in at like 1.5mm action at the 12th fret, and I kind of go for one and a quarter. So yeah, maybe just a little bit. I'm a bit too used to it. I think all this happened with just trying to see how low I can get it. You know what I mean? You can work on these guitars and get them low, but it doesn't necessarily make it easier to play because you've got less to fight with. You need to be more delicate. So here we go. Yeah, so neck pickup. Sorry, position 4 for that, innit? Middle, never going to use that. I'll do it. Number 2. Bridge pickup. Yeah, so people complain, so I've got to play a wee bit of guitar at the start anyway. Yeah, so I'm just really this is my first ever look at. I don't know if I don't know if I've ever actually had quite as new a guitar. Okay, it's a year old, but I'm pretty sure my pal just bought this the other day, or last week. So this is all set up. This is all just as it comes. So where do we start? Yeah, it's got Fender locking tuners on it, which fine. I wouldn't bother taking locking tuners off. I wouldn't bother putting them on though. Maybe if I was upgrading the tuners anyway because there was something wrong with the ones that were on it. But if this had like just the normal Fender tuners or Gotos or something like that, it's not an upgrade. I'm not 100% convinced that Jimi Hendrix didn't need locking tuners. Mind you, Jimi Hendrix didn't have noiseless pickups either. So these will be the latest generation, the most up to date Fender noiseless set. Which I'm kind of, my JPAC's number 1 there has stacked DiMarzios in it. So I'm going to have to do some sort of comparison to see, and then I'll compare them and my, I'm going to say my Strat, but I mean they're both Strats. This one has this is just like a 94 with bog standard, apart from it's got the stupid photo stuck to it, but it's just, to try it out, because I did my Stratiest Strat video a couple of weeks ago where I had that with the original 80s or 90, the original 80s or 90s, just Japanese stock pickups in it. That one, which has the 3 DiMarzio stacked pickups in it, which are noiseless. Well, they're noiseless, but I don't know exactly what Fender noiseless pickups are. I'm assuming they're some sort of stacked situation, so they're noiseless, but also much newer. I kind of wish I'd put those lace sensors in, because I think lace sensors are the first, or they were certainly an early noiseless pickup type thing, which you could only actually get in Fender Strat Plus, not an Ultra. So, what makes it Ultra? I mean, I was talking to Ian about it. Yeah, it's just like the ultimate modern thing, and it's just like, yeah, it's like I could get, you put Ultra on it, you get the most modern guitar, and I'm just sitting there thinking, how modern? Okay, the pickups. But the thing of what they're doing with the noiseless pickups now is because, when I was complaining about that not sounding quite as stratty, those pickups the Marzos are probably 10, 20 years old. The noiseless thing, you lose a lot of high end, just to me didn't sound quite as stratty as that one, which actually, to be honest, didn't sound as stratty as the Tempest, which one is the most strattiest of strats. But if you can't, he's got to be a bit more versatile, do some more stuff. But yeah. So it's up here talking about so ultra modern, right? So let's go back to 1955 or whatever it is when these came out, or whenever they started putting the rosewood fingerboards on. This has actually apparently got an ebony board, but I've never seen ebony like this. Look at it. It's pretty. See, it's got this look at the big light brown streaks in it, which is not like the ebony. I've actually got quite a few ebonies kicking about. So there's my Gibson SG ebony, which is actually you can sort of see the tooling on this one. This wasn't like a top of the range guitar. This is ebony, jet black, and you can't see the thingies. Yes, yep. I believe so. I believe that one's ebony as well. So there's probably isn't that fucking amazing? Look at it. Sorry, I still think this is just one of the prettiest looking guitars you can get. So it's quite it's a strange thing having the ebony. You think, okay, not particularly. I wouldn't have said that was particularly a modern feature. The body, compared to like a normal Strat, it does have, if you can see here, look, you can see that scoop. So it's got the curved bit there for higher access, and also it's angled in the way with this sort of scoop thing. I would argue that has been kicking about a fair amount. Like the original Charvel's not of this sort of thing. My point is it's not slagging off Fender. Obviously, I'm slagging off what classes as a modern guitar, and it's like, okay, it's got locking tuners. They're quite a modern thing. It's got noiseless pickups. This is actually an anodized black metal scratch plate. And that's again with power, so it's happy. The ultra modern. It's got the anodized scratch plate, which is good for shielding, and it's like, I'm pretty sure the anodized scratch plate's been kicking about. There's an old, is it a Duosonic, which came out in 1960 something, which I think looks cool. It's like sort of desert sand colour with the anodized plate, so then it's like 60s. So I'm saying that's not a modern feature. It does have a 2-point trem, so that's, I suppose, more modern than the 6 screw trem. I don't know when that came out, but again, I'm going to argue the modern thing or the ultra, and yeah. I suppose they had to give it a name. It's just it feels to be a very strange thing if you're going to get the ultimate upgrade, modernized version of something, and it's basically just, it's not that different. These things are not important. Well, I'm not, the fact that it's different's not important. It's just basically it's a Strat. It's an American Strat, a good one, with, I would say, slight comfort improvements with that scoop and stuff, rather than being ultra modern. You know what I mean? Surely ultra modern would be like a spaceship made of titanium or something. Yeah, anyway. Yeah. So, and it's got an S1 switch here, which there's actually a thing in the brochure there. I should probably play it, but no, I'll talk first. You just skip forward if you want to see. I don't do videos for everyone anyway. I do videos for people that I want to talk to. So it's got a push in the middle of where the volume is. So the S1 switch, I always thought it was a switching system. It's not. Basically, the S1 switch is, think of it like a push-pull pot, apart from instead of the whole pot moving, it's just the middle bit, the wee bit you indent in the middle there, you can see that. So the switch is a switch. So it might turn the lights on, it might add in humbucker, might add in preamps. It could do, basically the switch is just an on-off switch, so it's not the actual switch, it's just a switch. So you could just do it with a toggle switch and it does the same thing, whatever it is it's wired up to. This one has a, I've got the case candy with it. So there it is there. So it's like this is the thing explaining it. Tone 1 only. Pickups off. Oh no, it's not. It's not doing what I thought it did. Sorry, there's quite a lot to read in that. I suppose you can sort of pause it. But basically, it's a Gilmore switch. So, and then it's got this thing about the tone 1 only and tone 2 only. So what I'm thinking is these two pickups are wired to this tone control, and the bridge pickup has its own tone control. Yep. And if you push in this switch, it puts on the neck pickup permanently. So that whole page is telling you that this tone is for these two pickups, this tone's for this pickup, and if you put this switch on, then this pickup's on. So like the Gilmore switch, if you've selected this pickup and you turn it on, it's already on, it doesn't do anything. Whereas if you're in the middle position, it gives you what would be effectively position 4, but you've got it in the bridge position, you get the outer two coils, which you can't normally get on a Strat. And if you go to position 2 on the bridge switch, which would normally be these two, it's these two and this. It doesn't seem like a very big thing, not enough to have like an A4 page. It looks way more complicated than it is, but it just shows you when I'm trying to explain these stupid, really crazy, simple switches that I've got. And I'm sitting there going at that point, I'm really, really bad at explaining it. It's really simple. It's just really hard to make it sound simple when it's all you're doing is basically all it does is taking the output of the pickup, and instead of sending it to the 5-way switch, well, it's still getting sent to this 5-way switch, but you also send it via this switch straight to the output of the 5-way switch, so it's just on. That's it. It's like a hot wire. All you're really doing is jumping the terminal, so whatever you do with this switch, the neck pickup's on. Yeah. So I missed a bit of that. So bridge pickup on its own, and tone. Oh, it's got there's a modern thing. It's got the clicky tones. So I think these are called. Are they called true bypass? No load tone pots. So when it's fully up, there's a wee notch, so it clicks to be fully up, and it completely bypasses it so that the tone control has zero effect on the circuit. This tone control, interestingly, isn't like that. This is just a normal tone control. So the argument about how much difference it makes having the tone control still in the circuit but fully off or bypassed, I'm sure it makes a difference. Whether I would bother upgrading my perfectly working guitar with it, maybe not. But I mean, if the tone control was burst and I needed to buy one anyway, maybe I would have a look at the no load thing. But I mean, if you're no, I'm not playing. You're playing through distortion pedals and just in the house. Yeah, so there's bridge pickup on its own. There's bridge and neck. which, let's be honest, is an amazing feature, which is like one of the 5 sounds on the Strat. I would think that one's better than most of them, maybe. Certainly one of the better ones. It's better than the middle pickup on its own, and it's better than the bridge pickup on its own. So it's in the top 4 sounds. It's better than 3 of the sounds, 2 of the sounds that you've already got. It's like better ones. So worth doing. Also, apparently, it's got a compound radius fingerboard. But again, it's got the compound radius fingerboard, which my FGN's got. It'll be different thingies, but it kind of goes from the 10-inch radius up, or is it 12-inch up? As opposed to, I would have thought, you know, if I was wanting a compound radius, I would have chosen the 7.25-inch, you know, the vintage Strat type thing. So, and then by the time you got up here, it was your 10 or 12, so it kicked flatter for playing the shreddy stuff up here, but down here you still got that curved tip. But that, obviously, research has been done, and that's what people like. I like the 7.25 radius Strat thingies. Not that I necessarily notice it anymore. First time I had a guitar that had the 7.25, I was like, wow, it's like totally curved. And then I think a couple of months after that, I got the Ibanez Blazer, and I never even noticed. And it wasn't until a couple of months after that, I was like, I wonder what this is. It's kind of similar when I went back to the Squire, and it's like, once you get used to it, I don't notice. You can pass me a guitar, and unless it's got like a pure insane radius, I'm just used to it. Or it's the same with the neck shape. If you're only ever used to playing, you only ever play a super thin neck, and you get a shot of another guitar, it's very different. But I'm playing all these guitars, and they're all, it's like, dude, playing it. My initial thing is, you know, is what does it sound like? What does it feel like? I don't notice what the neck radius. I mean, it's brilliant, but I mean, that's all you need to know on it. Yeah, the colour's awesome. It's kind of, I'd like to call it Jelly Belly colour or something like that. It kind of, it's got a jelly bean look to it, I think. I was going to taste it, but I was going to lick it, but it's not my guitar, so I can't do that. I can just sniff it. It doesn't smell of jelly beans. One thing that's actually annoying me a little bit about this one, I know it doesn't matter, but see, in the neck, is it there? That's a wee, I can't remember what do they call it, a mineral streak in the wood. If I was playing a couple of grand for a guitar, I'd want that piece of wood to be the prettiest thing ever. No, it's gonna, no, it wouldn't make any difference to the sound, obviously, and I wouldn't mention about it, but I'm just thinking if you're looking at the Ultra, I would expect just a little bit. It's one of those things though, see, because of where it is, see if it, because it's there, I can see it, see if it was there, never noticed it, it's right there though. So it's one of those things that when you're playing this guitar, the bit, or a guitar, the bit that you can see, it's kind of the back bit of the neck. You can't even see the fretboard or, you know, the body or anything. That's the bit you can see, and it's just, if you're going to have it, that's the one place you don't want it. No, the worst place to have it would be right there, actually, which seems to be places that have got dents in a lot of guitars you buy. It's like, oh, it's great, apart from the one bit, the bit you always look at is that bit there. And that's where I always seem to have dents that I didn't put there. I'm sure there's other videos of actually people playing this thing. I know I'm talking too much and people always complain and I'm not speaking English and, oh, I can't understand what you're saying. LOL. Oh, you're really funny. That's great. That's what I like to go into people's videos and go up here. Your skin's a bit dark. LOL. You know what I mean? Because it's racist. Don't do that. Mind you, being from Scotland in winter, everybody's darker than me. It's like, maybe the Norwegians and the Swedish maybe have this lovely light blue tint of just, nay sun, don't get the sun. No. Oh, when's the sun coming out? Oh, that pair, will the sun come out later? And it's that pair looking at the window and going, yeah, what? March? Maybe sun will maybe come out in March, something like that. Sorry, just being silly. Also, it came with a pencil case, which is just kind of just looking through other folks' stuff, isn't it? Hope there's nothing rude in here. All right, okay. I thought I'd given you spare pots. No, it's got strap locks and a couple of. I don't like strap locks. Again, I don't like locking tuners. I don't like strap locks. The thing that annoys me about strap locks is a lot of the time I sit a guitar on the ground and lean it against the sofa or lean it against the thing. I mean, if you've got strap locks, it's like putting a spike on the bottom of it, so the guitar suddenly has got an awful lot more chance of falling over. So that's I'm not a fan of the strap locks. I'm not in it. Here's your only a start Fender for warranty registration and all that. Okay, no, I get it. I like having all this stuff. Very rarely I get it. Actually, my I just sold that Gibson Les Paul, and it had the. I think it even says on the front of the book, only a Gibson is good enough. I just don't. I don't like the philosophy behind that. I mean, I know it works and stuff like that. Nothing to do with the actual guitar. Just thinking, it's kind of snobby, isn't it, to say, oh, the only one that's good enough. Missed opportunity to leave the tags on forever as well. It may have come with a gig bag, case moulded, AM Deluxe, up guitar. Prepared by Jim, assembled by Colin, tuned and tested by J2. It's got the serial number on it, and inspector's EA. Oh, nice. California Proposition 65. Cancer and reproductive harm. I'm not really sure what that's all about. They don't generally tend to advertise playing the guitar as reproductive harm. Sorry, I've just been flippant. You know me anyway. I've got an issue with any guitar that's going to cost. I mean, I do have a couple that are, like sort of handmade and stuff like that. But the idea of a guitar being worth £2,000, I totally get it if you're gigging and touring. Or, I mean, why not just have really nice stuff? I just would very much, I'm still, even no matter how nice it is, I'm just very much arguing the fact you don't need that. I mean, Hendrix's guitars didn't have all these fancy things on them, and he seemed to do all right. So you don't need any of these things, but it is nice having them, and it does feel nicer. It's like, I'm not arguing here that this isn't better. This doesn't feel nicer and sound nicer than the 700 quid now for a Mexican Strat. It is nicer than that, but if you're listening to somebody in a band, you're not telling the difference. Unless you can see the guitar. Especially, even if you're not even playing it, if someone's just standing playing, just solo, you can't tell the difference what the guitar is. And it's once you've got drums and alcohol, and because they go together, and the bass and singing, and then the crowd, you're talking about this much difference, whereas being out of tune makes this much difference. But it's nice. Certainly to me, this is not sounding. I need to do another video of this. Maybe one where I play the guitar more and not talk as much pish, but it doesn't have that really high-end sparkle where all the noise is. I think maybe what I'm hearing when I'm playing the guitar, the noise is actually part of the sound of the guitar for me a little bit. Especially when you're using single coils, that you get, it's like really, really trebly, where you're kind of aware it's there but can't really notice it, which is just noise. It's not in this guitar, like the way it's not in that one. But I don't think I think this sounds much more like a standard single coil pickup than these do, which sound a little bit like a Strat with Dolby on. How old am I that I remember what Dolby is? on the tapes. You know, it's like you kind of, oh, you've got the hiss when you've got it up, and you put the Dolby on, it gets rid of the hiss, but you kind of lose the high frequencies that are where the hiss is. Okay. Yeah. So £2,000 guitar, £1.82 rat pedal. That's just how I roll. It seems very got the treble there. That hiss is just the £1.82 rat pedal. Actually, we're talking here about the no-load tone pot. So I do have a little experiment we can do to check that. So here's a bridge pickup, tone pot bypassed. Right, so if I turn this tone control so it's just no longer in the indent. Right, so that's it in the indent. And that's it, basically the tone at 9 instead of 10. Yeah, it does. You can hear it. Or I can. So if you're just thinking about it, wiring up a guitar, that's even if you're turning that to me, you're arguing turning it down to, I'm not turning it down to 9, I'm turning it down to 9.6 or something like that. So if on all these other guitars where you've got the tone pot that doesn't have this bypass thing on it, if you didn't have a tone control, it would be that little bit brighter. Just that bit there. But it's the same. I keep thinking about this. It's a little bit used to get it with hi-fi components as well. The improvements you get going from, well, I mean, the improvements you get going from anything that comes out of a computer on your laptop speakers, or the you know, the speakers that are in your TV, or between that and any sort of hi-fi you've got it plugged into is massive. Any hi-fi, right? And then you start going, oh, but what happens if you get like a good amplifier and good speakers? Oh, it's a little, all these things, it gets better. Then you go, oh, if you buy proper gold connectors, all these things all just make it better. But the thing is, it goes from like, well, I suppose it's the same with guitars. You know, you start off with shit and doesn't work. You know what I mean? And then it's like, so you're going from like the Harley Benton or something like that up to a Squire, up to, you know, the Squire Classic Vibe, up to the Mexican, up to the Japanese, up to the American, up to this American, up to the $5,000 custom shop. You know what I mean? But the difference between the £80 guitar, the £100 guitar, and the £200 guitar is that. And then between the 200 and the 400, it's half that distance. And then once you get to the 400 to 800, it's like it's half that distance again. And by the time you get up to £800 a grand, the increments, you're paying hundreds and hundreds of pounds to get a couple of percent. You know what I mean? You can play twice. You know, you're not, and even if you pay twice as much money, you don't get twice a guitar. But the same with the hi-fi stuff, you can just go mental and buy, I mean, some of the speaker cables, you can get speaker cables that are hundreds of pounds and it's only a bit of cable that's a metre long. Which, you know, see, it sounds mental, but there is a difference. It is better, no matter how minuscule it is. Done a bit of a rant, isn't it? So, Merry Christmas anyway. I went and got my tree. See, it's a really classy one. Yeah, quite a vintage, more Victorian thing I went for with just the paper streamers, which I'd actually got in a packet of. Cheers, Valerie sent me my Christmas present, which I haven't yet opened. The wee, what do you call that? Wee caricature of me playing the guitar. And what was it? Aye, Jen, it's like, Jen was a bit disappointed in her. She got one as well, because these are the people we stayed with in America. Yeah, I was looking at my wee thing, it's great, and she's like, up here, how come I get an acoustic guitar? I don't like acoustic guitars. Tongue in cheek, of course she loved it, Valerie, but there you go. So next time, instead of an acoustic guitar, she wants a bass. To be honest, the thing that I'm noticing most about this compared to the Strats I've got is it's very new. And it doesn't have any dents and lumps in it the way all my guitars have. But I like it. It's kind of, I think this is one of those ones where they've, I think it was a special run. And the problem is when you're looking at the ultra conservative, which I am, a lot of people who are spending this kind of money are, you know, your Gibson Les Pauls and stuff like that. You can make a Gibson Les Paul this colour, which I would prefer to a black one or a cherry sunburst one, but no, most people wouldn't. They want, it's got to be the standard, and it's like this. It's one of those things that if this was just black with a white scratch plate, it'd be worth more money because it'd be more desirable, even though it's so much cooler being pink. But people are afraid. Well, I suppose even in purely monetary terms, but I mean, I don't buy a guitar because I think it'll go up in value or I think I'll get money for it later on. I buy a guitar because I want that guitar and I think it'll be great, and I want it. And every guitar I buy with the intention of keeping it forever. Occasionally, okay, that Les Paul, maybe not. Some ones that are broken that I bought to fix and sell, they don't count. But well, most of them are like, I'm thinking, I want the guitar to be the guitar. Quite a lot of the guitar, but you want the guitar, not just another one. Yes, I will have to do a proper video because I've managed to talk for half an hour here. I've got plenty of things to. I've got a big box of pedals, so I'm going to try and. I've also got some. There's more the J-Paxes have been increasing. There's now. Well, there's an entire wall of J-Paxes. There you go. Those two aren't for sale, unless you were going to offer me. Everything's for sale, let's be honest. At the right money, you know what I mean? So the whole thing was like, would you eat a jobby if someone gave you £1 million? And it's like, £1 million? I would. And it's like, pure, right, and then that's that settled. So now there is a value where you would eat a shite. And you're going to do it for £10 million, £100 million, doesn't matter. There is a value that you can reach. I don't know what that is. I'll let you have one of these. You can have both of these guitars for £1 million. You know what I mean? In fact, you can have the whole fucking wall of guitars for £1 million. In fact, you can have the whole room of guitar. But you know what I mean. Even though I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm not. I being old fashioned, I prefer the really glossy neck. This has got that. I mean, it's lovely. It's the sort of modern. And again, I think there's an element. Is it a placebo you call it? But certainly, see, you know how glossy necks get sticky when you're playing them. Well, to me, glossy necks don't get sticky when you're playing them. Maybe some. I think maybe if I do obviously sweat when I'm playing because I'm a lunatic headbanging, but my sweat isn't sticky. Some people's is. Totally get it. Yeah, it might be for you, but I don't think it is for most people. I think most people hear that in the forums and go, oh, yeah, the forums say this, and depends what you think, really, doesn't it? Speaking of, gotta love Neil. Yeah, I've been watching the new Star Wars, which is this one's a kids thing, and it's like it was episode 4 I watched, I watched episode 1 and 2 last week, and it was kind of, every time I'm watching Star Wars, I'm a wee bit off topic now. So cheers for the guitar review. Catch you later. I'm going to have a wee 2 minutes of Star Wars, which because I couldn't do a Star Wars video. No, I'd get shot for it. But it happened with a couple of the Star Wars things. It happened with The Mandalorian, and it happened with Andor, where I'm watching it, and at the start, I'm kind of watching it going, oh God, is this going to be pure awful? And then you watch the first episode, and it's like, nothing in this was really awful. And then the second episode, and you're like, no, there's nothing really in this that's really annoying. It's kind of making sense. And then the third episode, this is actually, no, I think this might actually be quite good. And then I watched the fourth episode, and I really, really enjoyed it. And then it's like, pure, right, now I can relax a bit and not worry about something pure shit happening. You know, Game of Thrones season 8 level of shit, where it's just like, that fuck, which happened in a lot of the Star Wars stuff. So currently my Star Wars thing, I suppose in the Disney era, right now is going Andor, Mandalorian, up until the shit season 1 and 2, and that. And then there's a line where it's, is it still good? There was bits of Boba Fett I liked. Thought the Obi-Wan one was shit. Thought the Ahsoka one, which I did like Ahsoka and sort of the, what do you call it, the Rebels and all that, quite like the character and all that, but the Ahsoka one was kind of a bit shit. The Acolyte one was kind of a bit shit, and you're just like... So, but what an absolute brilliant. They've got like a wee elephant dude. It's a kid's show, it's like Goonies or something, but it's just so much fun. And then what I'm doing currently actually just now, or what I was doing earlier on, was now that I've watched episode 4 and I enjoyed it, I'm going back to episode 1 now, knowing that there's not going to be something that I'm just going to pure recoil it. I can actually relax and enjoy it. And there's a bit where they go to like it's bits of it just totally copied from Star Wars. They go to this, the 4 kids end up on this pirate spaceport thing, and they're just going, wow, this place is a bit mental, it's all dark, and they look over at the bar and there's just a guy just thrown up on the floor and all his pals laughing at him, and you're just like, this is fucking hilarious. There's lots of really funny bits. There's a bit where they run past this droid that's tattooing this mad alien monster guy, and he's just like, pure, oh, look what you made me do. And you're just like, just stupid but fun, and Star Wars is allowed to be fun. It doesn't have to be all deep and shit. Rock on. So, Merry Christmas week, and I will see you... I don't know if I'll see you at all. Depends whether you come over. Well, you come and buy a guitar off me. The car search, I'm going to the car auctions tomorrow morning. I don't think I'm going to buy anything, but just to see what's kicking about. I just really don't really know. I've now got enough money to buy a car, but again, I just wish someone was selling one, and anyone I knew that was like into cars would just sell one, because I would be totally that. It's like someone's, I really need a guitar. I just want one that's good enough to get me through rehearsals and gigs, blah blah blah. That's not going to break down. I could, I've got guitars like that, 100 quid sort of thing. I can get you a guitar that you could gig with for 100 quid, 150 quid. If I was a mechanic, I could probably get myself a car for 500 quid that's got a year's MOT, and it would be fine. But I don't, so I've got to just shop like a normie. So, rock on. Love you all.